Good afternoon. Thank you, Aaron, firstly, for emceeing. I'm sure you're very hungover. You are MC last night as well, so thanks for weathering through that. No one can tell. It's highly appreciated. As Aaron mentioned, and also I did not know that. I'm sorry that that is so large and in front of you right there. I had no idea that that was going to be there. But today is certainly not about me. It's about our illustrious panel of award winners, who I'll let introduce themselves in just a second. Customer Success Excellence, we founded about 2 years ago because it felt, as Gemma, who may be here or left for the airport, says, about damn time that we have our own awards program for customer success. Other professions have had that for a long time. And you know, I think what we said last night at the awards ceremony, I think really rings true, that there's a lot of loud voices in customer success, not just my voice right now, but also on LinkedIn and other places from CS influencers. But there's also a lot of people who are not really buying into that and just innovating and executing to seriously high degree of impact and innovation. And that's why the awards exist, to find not just the loudest voices, but the best voices who maybe will not just be on the winners panel next year, but rather running their own talks and really contributing to the industry to help move us all forward. That's really all I have to say, besides a few questions that I'll be asking the panel today. And the reason why in the program it wasn't so clear what the session was going to be about is our winners didn't know who the hell they were until last night at around 9 p.m. So you have some winners here. We have our Best Use of Technology and Customer Success winner, Customer Success Leader of the Year, and CSM of the Year for the EMEA region. So why don't we just go? Absolutely. So why don't we just do a quick introduction of yourselves, and then we're going to, in terms of the panel today, we're going to, quick intro. Also want to let you do a quick summary of some of the accomplishments, or this, as I put it to you earlier, what the hell you did to deserve to be up here and be an award winner. And then we're going to talk a little bit more practically about the impact on your organization, the impact of what you've done, the impact on your customers, and then also partnering with other colleagues to kind of drive the customer success mandate within your organization. So we're going to be quick. Maybe we'll have some time for Q&A. Gurpram, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself first?
Yeah, super. Thanks so much, Alex. Hi, everyone. My name's Gurpram Sagu. I'm a Customer Success Manager at Planhat. Been with Planhat for about 2 years. I was one of the founding members of the EMEA team from a CSM point of view. Part of why I was nominated and part of that whole piece was I hit a few kind of key metrics along the way. Of course, net retention being the big one. I hit 120% within my first full year, scoring the largest upsell driven from a CSM in the company's history. And then on the flip side as well, from a community perspective, running my webinar series, the CSM Corner, we've hit over 1,000 registrants regularly now, which is quite exciting as well. So quite a bit there for us to dive into as we go through.
Excellent. And Claire, why don't we go to you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Claire. I'm Director of Customer Success at Juro. Juro is the all-in-one contract automation platform. So we enable in-house legal and the teams that they support to agree contracts faster, essentially, in browser. What I do is I build customer success teams. So I've been in CS for about 10 or 11 years, built CS teams in big tech like Google and in a couple of startups, Juro being the third adventure on that area. So having a lot of fun. Again, net dollar retention, probably the thing that I focused on the most. But yeah, looking forward to sharing some of my experience today.
They say third time is the charm, so I'm sure you've lucked out
Fingers
there.
crossed.
Yeah, why don't we end with you?
Yeah, my name is Yair. I'm from Israel. I'm working ControlUp. I'm heading the Customer Success Operation team. I tend to rant, so I gave in advance Alex a permission to shush me. So
I may use it.
Yeah. So don't think that he's rude, but he's going to use it. No, I'm conscious of that. So. I've been in this, it's a brand new adventure for ControlUp, the CS operations. I transitioned from being a customer success manager responsible on UK. So if there were no COVID, I would travel more. But since then, I came for 4 times since October. So things are getting better. And yeah, I think that's it for now.
Well, welcome back to the UK, by the
Yeah.
way. Let's stay with you, actually, and we'll go kind of back the other way and just do a quick summary of your achievements and, I guess, qualifications for your award winning. Yours focused mostly on technology, and I know you've done some innovative things at ControlUp. So why don't we just do a quick summary?
Okay, so basically, in ControlUp, we didn't take care of the no-touch, low-touch. So any customer that didn't have a CSM didn't get anything when till renewal. So in CSOps, we are managing more than 1,000 customers that don't have a CSM, and we are only 3. So the challenge is how you manage them in a consistent way and not just taking care of health checks or health scores and say, okay, they are risk, let's talk with them or something like that. So I'm using a platform that is one of the sponsors here, Ever After, and I did a twist to that aggregating all the data to Salesforce with a lot of fields there that aggregated each field to a call to action. So I have like a big switchboard in Salesforce, and through Ever After, I select what content the user is seeing. So in Ever After, you build personalized portals for customers, so each customer and even each persona in the customer. So managers will see one thing, admins will see something else. They log in, that's the place where they see what is the call to action, and with that technology, I'm able to really give them a specific call to action, idiot-proof that, so with video snippets of 30, 45 seconds, they know exactly what they need to do. And this quarter, we launched a fully automated onboarding process from start to end through all the features, the basic stuff that they need to do, including training, how to enroll, and so on. So this is a pure tech touch that is brand new, and it's better than nothing, I guess.
Well, certainly better than nothing. It's why you're up here. And I'm going to risk staying with you for another question.
Okay.
Okay, because you said you have a tendency to rant, and then I said to him, I have a terrible time management skills. So it's a dangerous combination for us, for everyone here together, I think. But I think what's really interesting about that application is, we think of one-to-many as, a crappy solution, but it's a solution nonetheless, right? I can give them something at least, and I have to do it at scale. And that's maybe evolved a little bit to be, okay, I can give digital touch to customers who maybe don't want to talk to a person, right? It's not a crappy solution, it's just a different solution. But what I think is interesting really is the personalization, right? Because, and really the convergence of digital one-to-many customer success and things that marketing teams have been doing for a long time, right? And customer marketing has this kind of, when I think of customer marketing today, and I'm probably part of the problem, I think of advocacy. Okay, great, get the customer marketing person to record a case study or send them some new emails. But to maybe just talk a little bit more about the impact of the ability to personalize directly to the persona with your use of technology and customer success.
Yeah, so let's say same use case, different person, different message. So if you're talking with a decision maker, you want him to push the admin or whatever to do an action because they are slacking. Or you want the decision maker to see how well the team is doing. If it's the actual admin or the actual champion or the power user or whatever word, you want them to continue to drive value. So different persona needs different, or want to see the same information in a different way. And they have different attention span. And when we built this, we designed it basically on the fact that, and I heard it a lot here, the users don't really care about the product. My champions are IT admins. They always have priority 1 issues that they need to fix. So they are firefighters first, then they have project management, upgrade this system, and if they have time for me, they will do whatever. So usually when you buy software, and here I'm getting ranting, but I really have to say, when you buy software, it's like moving into a new apartment. You go to IKEA, and the first 3 months, like 10 times, buy this, buy that, and after 3 months, it's like the drill falls down. And whatever it is, even if you didn't finish building the shelves, that's what it is. It's the same as software implementation or adoption. Now, we as a CSM, we need to educate them on how to continue going to IKEA and develop more and just increase their quality of life. So I have like no time. I'm building it as go in. If you have 5 minutes, I will tell you what you need to do. Come in later, like in the end of the week, again, 5 minutes. So just in the concept of, or in conscience of what the mental bandwidth and time that my champion has to invest with me, I have to build it to be very cost effective. That's my rant.
No, it's a good rant. So I think it was worth it. I just think it's so interesting that, we customer success is all about proactivity, right? But then when we give our one-to-many content to the customer, it's implicitly reactive. I put it on, a website or a community, but then I need the customer to go there. And you're essentially applying proactivity to all the content that exists to help that person in their 5 minutes they pay attention to your product actually get value, right? Which I think is really interesting. Let's kind of come back down the line here. Claire, why don't you just give us a quick summary of your accomplishments in the last, at your time at Juro and some of the big highlights?
Sure. So I've been at Juro for just over 2 years. Came in as Director of Customer Success, which I think is a really great sign for Juro that they brought in that role very early on in their growth. So just post Series A is when I joined the business. And I've brought it from basically a very fledgling customer success function to now a very large and contributing part of the organization. We were talking about this last night. When I joined, our CRM was a spreadsheet with the names of 25 customers on them, and the team was quite proud of the spreadsheet because it didn't exist until the week before I started. So this was the preparation that they had done and the names of the contacts of those people. We are now servicing a portfolio of 250-ish paying customers globally, and I have a team of 10 split across customer success managers and implementation. So it's been it's been a crazy 2 years. And even for the first year of that, it was sort of me and maybe 2 other heads. So the scope of the growth has just accelerated in the past 12 months even more. So I think a lot of my role is keeping up with that and making sure that the business is able to continue to succeed and have customer success as part of the growth engine rather than as like a cost center that's often viewed. I think probably the area that I focused most, at least in the beginning, was on onboarding, enabling customers, not quite at the scale that you were speaking about just yet. It was a lot of like hands-on, face-to-face contact with customers, but I did join in March 2020, so it was a shock to the system to not meet anybody until now, basically.
Wow.
Well, you're doing that very gracefully. You've been meeting, 400 people
Human
today.
contact again?
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so I mentioned Juro is a contract automation platform. So we work with lawyers. They don't tend to be the first group that you think of that will adopt a new technology. And even within the businesses that they work in-house, they are often viewed as like a blocker. They're a bottleneck. They're the person who doesn't sign off for a day, this kind of thing. So usually a technology implementation for a team like that can take up to 12 months. We now have an average onboarding cycle of 14 days with these legal teams. And I mean from signing to having their business self-serve on NDAs, commercial contracts, like everything across the board. Probably one of the things we're most proud of. And I know everybody's talking about net dollar retention. Around the time that I joined, I say we didn't really have a very good grasp on the granular reporting on a customer's life cycle and on understanding what their pain points are and how we can ensure renewal. So since the time that I joined and started building the team, churn's been trending downwards quite strongly. And at the moment, we're reporting 137%, 12-month trailing net dollar retention, which is probably the other big star metric that we're delighted about. So yeah, it's been a journey. I think it's been like intimidating in some parts, but part of what I love doing is building a great team. So those 10 people are like all-star players, and they're the reason that Juro's performing the way it is. So finding them and helping them to be successful is what I'm doing 100% of the time now. Whereas when I started, I was the person trying to learn everything about customers and get them up and running.
What an amazing journey, and I think it's even, I know a bit about what you guys were doing, and I did not know that your starting point was a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Or actually, I guess your starting point was no spreadsheet. I want to stay with you briefly, and just, one of the things that's most impressive, I think, about what you've done in that short period of time, and that very far away from optimal starting line, is you've invested, I think, a lot ahead of demand on process, technology. You've segmented. I won't share it. I'll let you share it. Your segmentation of customers is based on animals, which I think is quite cool. But you have different. Very early on, maybe earlier than the traditional SaaS company, you focused a lot on kind of building out those frameworks that you'd expect maybe a little bit later in growth. So maybe you just give us a bit more context on that.
So it's a philosophy in Juro that I picked up from Richard, the CEO, which is to approach a problem in 3 ways and in this order. So first you build the process. You document everything. You write down what it is you want to achieve. You have a version of what perfect looks like. Only when that is tied down, then do you hire. So you don't hire someone and they're not set up for success if onboarding isn't defined, or if you're throwing a person at the problem instead of really thinking about how should I be doing renewals, or what should the template deck for a QBR look like. So it'll be like a staged approach. First of all, build a process. Second, hire the people. Third is technology. So we would have been very, very, very early on in that type of structure, segmentation, tiering our customers and changing the way that they receive treatment from Juro, then hiring heads. And actually, not recently at all, about a year ago now, we bought PlanHat as a CRM for dealing with our customers. Until then, we'd just been kind of piggybacking on Salesforce. It was exactly the right decision, but if we had done it before that point, it probably would have been a complete mess. Until we knew what our playbook looked like, and until we had the right people.
Well, and I think, and it's a good segue to the CSM from PlanHat. But I think what happens when you buy CS technology sometimes is you purchase it, and then they say, okay, what are your playbooks and processes so we can implement them? And then there's the blank look of, we need to have those, right? So you must deal with that sometimes. But tell us a little bit more about your experience there and some of your accomplishments.
Yeah, I think it's a strange one, right? I'm a CSM for CS people, so it comes with its challenges, of course, as we're all trying to figure out how to do this. Like joining PlanHat 2 years ago, I was the initial CSM for EMEA and also APAC, so lots of early morning calls and lots of coffee to keep me awake through the rest of the day. But it comes with a lot of interesting things to solve, right, for us, where we're speaking to other leaders, other CSMs, and all we want to be able to do together is to share that best practice, figure out how do we do CS correctly, how do we have the seat at the table. And so many conversations came around that, and so it becomes quite important for us to start talking about that value approach. How do we really drive value for your customers? What does that mean for you? How do we get you promoted? How do we get you to VP or CCO? And starting to think more about the people aspect a lot. I think it's very interesting, right? We talk about CS all the time. Ultimately, it comes down to a conversation between two people. And it's almost like we're more psychologists rather than actual business people. And so that conversation that's happening between the two people, that's the kind of dance that we do quite a lot, right? And trying to figure out what's going to help our customers, what's going to help their customers. How do we tell them no when we need to tell them no? When do we need to kind of talk them off the edge a little bit? We need to be able to be that person. And I think that's where we really want to anchor everything in understanding the value, understanding what we're there to deliver, and getting that right from the get-go, and reiterating that throughout the process. Something new will come up, somebody will attend a conference, there'll be this really cool idea about implementing, and we want to be able to bring that in and say, like, what are we focusing on right now? What do we need to deliver this quarter? What do we need to deliver next quarter? What's your net retention rate target by the end of the year? This is what we're focusing on. This stuff, it's kind of scope creep. Maybe we don't want to go there yet, but we want to be able to redefine, bring in when we need to, but we need to focus on the right elements. And so as we were growing, and there's quite a lot of work to be done in terms of building the video templates, building a network of people that we can engage with. So there's a lot of work from my side in terms of building that video content out for our Help Center with a product that's growing as quick as ours. It really does require a lot of agility in keeping things up to date and making sure our customers can leverage that information quite quickly, I would say.
And I remember when I first saw, if I may, PlanHat, I wondered where the heck you guys had been, right? Because I think you had focused a lot on the product and maybe the kind of more value-centric support and enablement. Really, I guess, started with you, right?
Yeah.
At least that's from the outside how it looks. So that's
sure.
really
I
exciting.
think I should give credit to the team as well. I mean, it was very, very product-focused. And that's what the founding team really focused on. First 7 years or so, they've been around since 2015, building the product. And then when we're ready, let's go to market. And then when we go to market, what do we actually need to speak to people about? And that's where we come back to our value framework. Like, what are we trying to achieve? There's 4 top objectives for any customer success organization. What are our customers trying to do with those?
Nice.
And anchoring it back there.
So time is, as I told you, running away from us. We've got about 8 minutes left, and I would like to have some questions from the audience right at the end. Are there questions now? I'm about to go to Q&A. There you go. There he is. No, I want to just kind of go right down the line again with, I think, conclude with a final question for you, and then we'll see if there's questions from the audience. Because I think what's really exciting about what you all have done is we're getting into the tactics, how you went about executing, right? Because we can talk a lot very theoretically about CS, but you're doing it every day and obviously doing it very well. So I'll stay with you and maybe just some lessons learned that you want to kind of take away, some things you could have done differently or something you want to leave the audience with based on your experience and exceptional experience at that.
Yeah, thank you. So I look after the entire customer journey, and I think it can be quite overwhelming to have to deal with commercials for the first time, have to do the onboarding and run everything through. I think it's one of the most difficult things about the role is never giving up. I suppose that's the main thing. We always say about this concept around grit, and when we need to fight churn, it's not over until it's over. And I think that's kind of, it's so difficult because the job definitely beats us down quite a lot. It's very, very challenging. But I would say, like, really just kind of doubling down on yourself, like never giving up, building that team of supporters around you, not only internally, but there's always that concept around your personal board of directors. Like, who do you have outside of your company who you would have on your board of directors? Build that group of people and leverage them, because there are hard days, there are great days. You need to celebrate those good days as well. So I would say double down on investing in yourself through the tough times.
Nice. Claire?
So I actually heard a piece of advice at a very inconsequential team building exercise that I went to, and it's become my little mantra for customer success. And it's that customer success makes the customer the hero, but it does it in 3 ways. So you make the customer the hero in their own organization. Gerpram was talking about, how do I get you promoted? How do I make this project a success for you, number 1. You make the customer a hero within your own organization as well. So CS is the nexus within the business. So we partner with sales. If we have great case studies for them, that's going to work a dream. If you partner with marketing, you've got, Juro has built a community of 400 or 500 lawyers in tech that are all getting together. So it's in their company, in your own company, and then externally as well. So that promotion of the industry, that promotion of what they're doing. If your customer is winning awards, you're winning awards at the same time. I think it's a nice way of thinking about like, how can I make this person a hero themselves, and then my success will follow as a result of that. It's my cheesy line.
I'm going to take the Nexus word because
Okay.
I was looking for a word to explain what CSM is doing, because we are touching every element in the customer facing. It's marketing, it's product, it's sales, it's academy, it's documentation. And I will tell you why I'm telling you, because when you build an automation and you build a machine and then you click on play and pray very hard that it works. No, it doesn't work like that. But you are touching all those elements. And if you do it when you're siloed, there's a good chance, and this is the biggest lesson, you have to promote what you're doing inside the organization and penetrate those silos walls that usually are, marketing is very comfortable and sales is very comfortable in what they're doing. But those silos, if you think about the customer experience, it can be a cacophonic. That's the right word, or it's just Hebrew? It's like it's like
It's a good word.
like a bad orchestra. So the customers doesn't really care who he's talking to. Is marketing touching base with them? Is it the product with the in-app or documentation, whatever? It's all the company. It's all the vendor. So if I'm saying one thing, they're saying another thing, or the same thing in a different way, and it doesn't really think, that's a problem. So my challenge was how to attack all these pieces and put them in a puzzle that works and fits, and not that. So one of the projects that I took is promote what I'm doing and asking marketing, asking sales, asking everybody, how can you leverage what you're doing with what I'm doing? And that's the only way I was able to succeed and get the buying from executives to do this, because I have to thank ControlUp and the executives for letting me play, because nobody did what I'm doing at the moment in the company before, and I rarely saw it. When I participated in a lot of webinars talking about scale, but everybody talking about how you grow properly your body count. And my approach is build a machine and then allow the business to scale, but you don't need to grow. So maybe I'm not in the right panel, because then I'm saying...
No, but I think, and let's get to two questions before we end here, but I think one of the common threads that I've heard is about, kind of preparing and investing early in getting other stakeholders on board, and it's, the opposite of silos, right? You spent a lot of time getting buy-in from people within the organization, and, also in some ways making them the hero, right? You're doing a lot of great work, let's channel it through my project to the customer. Right? You talked a lot about investment and process early, and you talked about kind of bringing a lot of that thought leadership and the community aspect in an area that, you're not doing all the content, right? You're getting other people involved as well. So I think that's a nice red thread. Time for one question from the audience to the panel. Chris, he was a judge, by the way, at the awards.
Not yet.
So this is a super simple question. It's going to be quick. For each of you, you're all winners. You've all got the Customer Success Excellence Award. What do you think your superpower is, in one word, that got you to where you are as a leader, as a CSM, and as the innovation side, the technology? One word, superpower.
I think I know mine. I would say empathy. I think you need to be empathetic in a role like this, and it goes for customers, but it also goes for internal stakeholders and for managing people. I think if you don't have that as really, I would say it's my number one driver, and I think if you don't have it, you're not gonna be successful. So hopefully, other people think that's my superpower as well.
I would say, other than empathy, I would say perseverance. Perseverance, yeah.
It's a good one.
I would say a hacker state of mind.
Good too.
Good. You hacked the question
But
as
it's
well.
three words. I told you I'm renting.
Well, that's all the time we have. Would have loved to get some more questions, but I think we had a great overview of what you've done and maybe can inspire some further conversations later in the sessions today.
Yes.
Thank you all very much for attending, and congratulations once again to all of you for
Thank
winning.
you.
Oh,
Thank you, Alex.